Introduction: The truth about wealth and why you're closer than you think. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, working hard, staying loyal, showing up every day, and yet your bank account doesn't reflect your effort? You're not lazy, you're not broken. You've just been missing the rules of the game. The Art of Money Getting by P.T. Barnum isn't just a dusty old book, it's a masterclass in financial mindset from a man who built an empire from nothing. And in this audiobook, I'm not just reading it to you, I'm breaking it down like a friend who's been through the struggle and found a way out. Think about people like Steve Harvey, who went from living in his car to becoming a media mogul, or Rihanna, who turned her music career into a billion-dollar beauty brand. These aren't just success stories, they're proof that when you align your passion with smart money habits, anything is possible. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, this is your moment. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's walk this journey together. Because by the end of this audiobook, you won't just understand money, you'll understand how to make it work for you. Chapter 1. Don't mistake your vocation. Barnum starts with a truth that's more relevant today than ever. You can't win long-term doing something you hate. Too many people choose careers based on pressure, not passion. Maybe your parents wanted you to be a lawyer, or society told you tech was the only way to make it. So you follow the script, but deep down, you feel stuck. Barnum says, the safest plan is to select the vocation which is most congenial to his tastes. Translation: do what lights you up. Because when you love what you do, you'll naturally work harder, think smarter, and push further. Let's bring this into today's world. Look at Mr. Beast. Didn't follow a traditional path. He obsessed over YouTube, studied the algorithm, and now he's one of the most influential creators on the planet. Or Marie Forleo, who turned her passion for coaching into a global brand. They didn't wait for permission, they followed their curiosity and built wealth around it. Here's your daily motivation. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start with what feels right. Ask yourself, what would I do every day even if no one paid me for it? And here's your personal challenge. This week, take one small step towards something that excites you. Research a new skill, start a side hustle, DM someone in a field you admire. Because the moment you stop mistaking your vocation is the moment you start building your fortune. Chapter 2. Select the right location. Let's talk about something that can make or break your success where you plant your roots. Barnum believed that choosing the right location for your business or career is just as important as the work itself. And in today's world, that advice is more powerful than ever. Think about it. Would you open a luxury shoe store in a rural village where most people walk barefoot? Or launch a vegan cafe in a neighborhood where barbecue is king? Probably not. Because success isn't just about what you offer, it's about where and to whom you offer it. Barnum said, no man has a right to expect to succeed in life unless he understands his business, and nobody can understand his business thoroughly unless he studies it. That includes studying your environment. Now, let's bring this into modern life. Look at Elon Musk. Didn't just build electric cars, he built them in California, where innovation thrives and environmental consciousness is high. Or take Chioma Nnadi, the British Nigerian editor of British Vogue. She didn't just work in fashion, she positioned herself in the heart of the industry, where her voice could be heard and her influence could grow. Here's your daily motivation. You don't have to be everywhere, just be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Ask yourself, is my current environment helping me grow or holding me back? And here's your personal challenge. This week, evaluate your surroundings. Are you in the right space physically, digitally, emotionally to thrive? If not, what's one small shift you can make to move closer to where your success lives? Chapter Try. Avoid debt. Let's get real. Debt is a dream killer. It's the silent weight that keeps you up at night, the invisible chain that holds you back from taking risks, and the reason so many people feel like they're running in place financially. P.T. Barnum didn't mince words here. He believed that debt was one of the greatest obstacles to wealth. He said, young men starting in life should avoid running into debt. And that advice? It's more relevant now than ever. In today's world, debt is everywhere. Credit cards, student loans, buy now, pay later apps. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I'll pay it off later. But later often turns into years of stress, missed opportunities, and financial anxiety. Let's look at someone like Dave Ramsey, a modern-day financial coach, who built an empire teaching people how to get out of debt and stay out. His story started with bankruptcy. But by changing his mindset and habits, he turned his pain into purpose. Now millions follow his debt-free scream philosophy. Here's your daily motivation. Debt is not just a financial issue, it's an emotional one. It steals your peace, your confidence, and your freedom. But the good news? You can take control. Ask yourself, what's one debt I can start tackling today? Even if it's just 10 toward a credit card or skipping that impulse buy every step counts. And here's your personal challenge. This week, write down all your debts, face them, own them, then make a plan no matter how small to start digging your way out. Because freedom doesn't start with a windfall. It starts with a decision. Chapter 4. Be cautious and bold. At first glance, cautious and bold might sound like opposites. But Barnum believed that true success lives in the balance between the two. He said, be cautious and bold. A man must not be a coward, nor must he be reckless. In other words, don't let fear paralyze you, but don't let excitement blind you either. Let's break that down in today's world. Think of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She took a bold leap by investing her entire savings into a product no one believed in. But she wasn't reckless. She studied the market, tested her idea, and moved with strategy. That's boldness with caution. That's power. On the flip side, how many people do you know who have amazing ideas but never act on them? They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions. But perfection is a myth. And waiting too long? That's just fear in disguise. Here's your daily motivation. Caution keeps you safe. Boldness moves you forward. You need both to win. Ask yourself, where am I playing it too safe? And where am I being too impulsive? And here's your personal challenge. This week, take one bold step, but back it with research. Want to start a business? Read one book on your industry. Want to invest? Study the basics. Want to pitch an idea? Practice it first. Because when you mix courage with preparation, you become unstoppable. Chapter 5. Advertise your business. Barnum didn't just believe in advertising, he lived it. He was the original hype man, the master of attention. His message? If you don't tell the world what you do, the world won't know to care. He said, he who is without a newspaper is cut off from his species. In today's terms, if you're not visible online, you're invisible, period. Let's talk modern examples. Think of Gary Vaynerchuk built his family's wine business from a small shop into a 60 million brand by leveraging YouTube and social media before it was cool. Or Tabitha Brown, who went from posting vegan recipes on TikTok to becoming a household name with her own product lines and TV deals. What do they have in common? They showed up consistently, authentically, and loudly. Advertising isn't just about spending money. It's about telling your story in a way that resonates. Whether it's a tweet, a YouTube video, a business card, or a conversation at the barbershop, you are your brand. Here's your daily motivation. You don't need $1 million ad budget. You need a message, a platform, and the courage to speak up. Ask yourself, what's one way I can promote my work today without waiting for permission? And here's your personal challenge. This week, post something about your passion. Share your journey, tell people what you do and why it matters. Because the world doesn't reward the best-kept secret, it rewards the boldest voice. Chapter 6. Be polite and kind. Here's a truth that never goes out of style. Kindness is currency. P.T. Barnum believed that being polite and respectful wasn't just good manners, it was good business. He said, politeness and civility are the best capital ever invested in business. In a world that often rewards loudness and ego, this chapter is a breath of fresh air. Barnum reminds us that people don't just buy products, they buy people. Your attitude, your tone, your energy, it all matters. Let's bring this into today's world. Think of Keanu Reeves, a Hollywood star known not just for his talent, but for his humility and kindness. He gives up his seat on the subway. He talks to fans like they're old friends, and guess what? People love him for it. His reputation has become part of his brand. Or take Oprah Winfrey. Her entire empire is built on empathy, connection, and authenticity. She listens, she uplifts, and in doing so, she's built trust with millions. Here's your daily motivation. Being kind doesn't cost a thing, but it pays in loyalty, respect, and opportunity. Ask yourself, how do people feel after interacting with me? Do I leave them better than I found them? And here's your personal challenge. This week, Practice intentional kindness. Compliment a stranger, send a thank you message, smile more. Because in a world full of noise, kindness is your loudest statement. Chapter Sire, be honest. Let's face, honesty isn't just a virtue, it's a strategy. In The Art of Money Getting, Barnum makes it clear, if you want lasting success, you've got to build it on truth. He says, there is no such thing as a successful liar in the long run. And in today's world of filters, fake followers, and fast scams, that message hits harder than ever. Think about Warren Buffett, one of the most respected investors of our time. His reputation isn't just built on smart deals, it's built on trust. He's known for transparency, humility, and doing business with integrity. That's why people invest with him. That's why his name carries weight. Or consider Michelle Obama. Her authenticity is her superpower. She speaks from the heart, owns her story, and never pretends to be perfect. And because of that, millions listen when she talks. Here's your daily motivation. Honesty builds trust. Trust builds loyalty. And loyalty builds legacy. Ask yourself, am I showing up as my real self or just the version I think people want to see? And here's your personal challenge. This week, practice radical honesty. Be truthful in your conversations, your content, your business. Own your mistakes. Celebrate your wins. Because when people know they can trust you, they'll follow you anywhere. Chapter Opt. Don't gossip, mind your business. Barnum doesn't sugarcoat it here. Gossip is a distraction, not a strategy. He warns that those who spend their time meddling in other people's affairs rarely have time to build anything of their own. His advice? Engage in your own business and let others attend to theirs. In today's world, that's more relevant than ever. Social media makes it easy to get caught up in drama, celebrity feuds, online beefs, who said what about whom? But while you're scrolling and judging, someone else is building, someone else is focused, someone else is winning. Let's look at Tyler Perry, a man who built a billion-dollar studio empire while staying out of the spotlight's mess. He minds his business, tells his stories, and uplifts his community. Or Zendaya, who keeps her personal life private and her professional game sharp. She's not chasing headliness, he's chasing excellence. Here's your daily motivation. Energy spent on gossip is energy stolen from your goals. Ask yourself, am I investing my time in growth or in noise? And here's your personal challenge. This week, do a focus audit. Track how much time you spend on things that don't serve your purpose, gossip, drama, distractions, then reclaim that time. Use it to read, create, plan, or rest. Because your future deserves your full attention. Chapter 9, Learn from Failure. Barnum doesn't shy away from the truth. Failure is part of the journey. He believed that setbacks aren't signs to quit, they're signs to grow. He said, every man who becomes rich by honest means will tell you that he has made many mistakes. Let that sink in. Mistakes aren't the enemy, they're the tuition you pay for wisdom. In today's world, we often see the highlight real success stories, big wins, perfect lives. But behind every win is a trail of losses, lessons, and late nights. Think of Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba. He was rejected from dozens of jobs, including KFC, failed multiple times before building one of the largest e-commerce platforms in the world. Or Viola Davis, who grew up in poverty and faced rejection after rejection in Hollywood. But she didn't stop. She learned, adapted, and rose to become one of the most respected actresses of our time. Here's your daily motivation. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the foundation of it. Ask yourself, what failure have I been avoiding, and what lesson is it trying to teach me? And here's your personal challenge. This week, reflect on a recent setback. Write down what went wrong, what you learned, and how you'll move forward. Then take one small action to prove that failure didn't break you, built you. Chapter 10. Stick to one thing. Barnum's message here is simple but powerful. Focus is your superpower. He warns against the temptation to chase every shiny opportunity that comes your way. His words? Engage in one kind of business only and stick to it faithfully until you succeed. In today's world, we call it shiny object syndrome. One minute you're starting a podcast, the next you're flipping NFTs, then you're trying to launch a clothing brand all at once. But here's the truth. You can do anything, but not everything at the same time. Let's look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Before he became a global brand, he focused on wrestling. He mastered it. Then he transitioned into acting again with full focus. Now he's a producer, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. But it all started with one thing, done with excellence. Or take Temi Otedola, who focused on fashion and content creation before expanding into acting and brand partnerships. She didn't try to do it all at Onsesh, built one lane, then expanded. Here is your daily motivation. Mastery beats multitasking every time. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I need to give my full energy to right now? And here's your personal challenge. This week, pick one goal, just one. Block out distractions. Say no to side quests. Go all in. Because when you focus, you don't just move faster, you move with purpose. Chapter 11. Don't procrastinate. Barnum's message here is loud and clear. Now is always the best time to start. He warns that procrastination is one of the most dangerous habits for anyone chasing success. His words? No man ever made his mark in the world who waited for the right time. Sound familiar? We've all said it. I'll start next week. I'll launch when I'm ready. I'll save when I earn more. But here's the truth, waiting is a trap. And while you're waiting, someone else is doing. Let's talk modern examples. Issa Rae didn't wait for Hollywood to discover her. She started with a YouTube series shot on a shoestring budget. That bold, imperfect start led to Insecure, awards, and a media empire. Or Tony Alumalu, who began his banking career with modest means and rose to become one of Africa's most influential entrepreneurs because he acted, learned, and adapted in real time. Here's your daily motivation. You don't need perfect conditions, you need a decision. Ask yourself, what dream have I been putting off? And what's one small action I can take today to move it forward? And here's your personal challenge. This week, pick one thing you've been delaying: starting a blog, applying for a job, launching a product, and take the first step. Not tomorrow, not next month, now. Because your future self is waiting on your present courage. Chapter 12. Use time wisely. Barnum's message here is timeless. Time is your most valuable asset. He believed that how you spend your hours determines how you live your life. His words? Time is money. A man who wastes 1 hour of time has not learned the value of life. In today's world, distractions are everywhere: endless scrolling, binge watching, mindless multitasking. But while you're busy killing time, someone else is using it to build, grow, and win. Let's look at Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek. He didn't just talk about productivity, he redefined it. By focusing on high-impact tasks and eliminating time wasters, he created a lifestyle of freedom and purpose. Or Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General of the World Trade Organization. Her disciplined use of time and focus helped her rise through global leadership ranks while balancing family and advocacy. Here's your daily motivation. You can't control how much time you get, but you can control how you use it. Ask yourself, what's stealing my time that isn't feeding my future? And here's your personal challenge. This week, track your time for one day. Be honest. Then cut one low-value activity and replace it with something that moves you forward: reading, planning, creating, resting. Because when you master your minutes, you master your momentum. Chapter 13. Learn to say no. Barnum closes with a lesson that's simple in words but powerful in practice. Learn to say no. He believed that many people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they say yes to the wrong things, the wrong people, and the wrong timing. He wrote, "Unless a man exercises his will and says no, he will be carried away by the tide." And in today's world of constant notifications, peer pressure, and FOMO, that advice is more critical than ever. Let's look at Serena Williams, a world-class athlete who said no to distractions, to burnout, to anything that didn't align with her goals. Or Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who says no to being boxed in by expectations, choosing instead to speak boldly and write freely. Their success didn't just come from what they said yes to, it came from what they refused to compromise on. Here's your daily motivation. Every yes is a commitment, every no is a boundary, and boundaries protect your purpose. Ask yourself, what have I been saying yes to that's draining me? What do I need to start saying no to in order to grow? And here's your personal challenge. This week, say no to one thing that doesn't serve your vision. It might be a toxic habit, a time-wasting invite, or a project that pulls you off course. Say it with love, but say it with confidence. because your future deserves your full focus. Closing message: your wealth begins within. So here we are at the end of The Art of Money Getting, but hopefully just the beginning of your transformation. You've heard the principles, you've felt the stories, you've seen how timeless wisdom from a 19th century showman still speaks directly to your 21st century hustle. And if you've made it this far, it means something inside you is ready to shift. Let me remind you, wealth isn't just about money, it's about mindset. It's about how you think, how you move, how you treat people, and how you treat yourself. It's about showing up every day with intention, courage, and clarity. You don't need to be born into riches. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start where you are, with what you have, and with a belief that you are worthy of more. Think of the people we've talked about: Oprah, Elon, Serena, Mr. Beast, Chimamanda, Tyler Perry. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't let fear win. They took the principles you've just heard and lived them out loud. Now it's your turn. Here's your final challenge. Go back through your notes. Pick one principle that hit you hardest and act on it today. Not next week. Not when life slows down. Now. Because your future self is counting on you to move. And if this audiobook lit a fire in you, if it made you think, feel, or dream, bigger subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with your favorite chapter, and share this with someone who needs it. Let's build a community of people who don't just talk about success, they live it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing. And remember, the art of money getting isn't about luck, it's about learning, loving the process, and never giving up. Until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and keep going.